Big breaking news in the Vinicius Jr deal to Arsenal. The exit from Real Madrid just a couple of days ago was shut down by Gary Cottrell on TalkSport. But a couple of big updates from some of the most respected journalists in Madrid have certainly opened the doors. The offer from Arsenal is absolutely massive as all financial demands have been met. A big update to come as well from the hand of Arsenal. Nobody, and I want to be very clear from the beginning of this video, nobody, least of all me, is saying this deal to Arsenal is done. But the deal is on, the deal is active, and it feels like there's a real chance for this to advance to the latter stages and a real possibility here for Arsenal when looking at these stories this morning. Cannot wait to go through them with you. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's do this. Thank you all for tuning in again. Beautiful surroundings here. It's actually 6:30 a.m. where you are when I'm recording this, but it's already where I am. It's already. I'm just looking here. I'm sorry to distract from the story. I'm waiting for it to come up on the screen. It'll be there in a minute. Look at that, 35 degrees already. It's absolutely beautiful. As long as you're being safe with the right kind of sunblock, it can never be too hot. I absolutely love it here. It's been absolutely amazing. Big up to everybody here in Turkey. But let's jump into this story. Okay, let's jump into this and let's delve into this in more detail. And the first update I want to go to is from Pepe Alvarez. Now, this is a man, when he broke the news, he was one of the first to break the news that Tchouaméni was signing a new deal at Real Madrid. This was met with so much respect. His authority was confirmed. And I remember being sent this by about 50 different people, by the way, including a lot of the sausages and a lot of the negative Arsenal supporters who watch my content. Tchouaméni ain't happening now. Look at this. And they referred to Pepe Alvarez as a tier 0 journalist, the highest of the high. Now, I don't know whether that's true. Maybe they were exaggerating, but he's certainly somebody that is respected. And what he said last night is key. And I want to read you these words talking about Vinicius Jr. He said, Jose Mourinho does not consider the Brazilian essential for his new Real Madrid. The club will not force his departure, but neither will they close the door to a good offer. The club cannot pay him 80 million euro signing bonus, nor give him the 80% image rights. Now, I want to start off the image rights because a few shows ago we were live when I was back in Blighty. And people were saying there's no way Arsenal can afford this deal. And we're going to get into what Arsenal have offered according to the hand of Arsenal in a few moments. But what's very interesting to remember is what I spoke to you guys about. Why do I know about this? Because this is part of my old job. When I worked in the bank, what I'm about to tell you is part of what we used to do or help get set up. You see a player's salary sometimes and you go, oh, it's 200 grand a week. Doesn't mean they're only earning £200,000 a week out of that football club. A lot of them also have business accounts. The international players in England often have offshore business accounts. A lot of them are often fiduciaries as well, where all the money from their image rights go to. Now, different levels of players will be able to negotiate better deals. So if you're, I don't mean this horribly, if you're Joe Nobody at a club, you won't own you won't own the vast majority of your image rights. Why? Because the football club, especially if you join a Man United, an Arsenal, Madrid, it's that club that is going to actually grow your image. Now, there are other players who will, Ronaldo is probably the most prime example. Rooney had this at Manchester United amongst others. There are other players and people that actually have images that you could argue are close to, as big as, or greater than the clubs they're playing for. Therefore, there's a negotiation around image rights. And what this said here is that they cannot, he's asking for 80% of his image rights. So 80% of the money via his image rights, Vinicius Jr. wants. He also wants to be able to have more control over selling his image elsewhere, which is one of the reasons why I know Arsenal can afford this deal, and they can afford the deal because, one, you've got the Premier League element backing Arsenal up because of how big the Premier League is. But on top of that, Arsenal are a big club themselves. If they are willing to give more of the image rights up and give them to Vinicius Jr., the money he is seeking can be made up. The signing bonuses as well. 80 million euros just to re-sign his contract. Real Madrid are currently saying no to that. And I just think that is so important. Now, another update came through last night as well, which I think is key. And this came from a reporter called Rodra 79. Again, fairly respected in Madrid. He said there has been no meeting between Vinicius and Real Madrid yet. Vinicius wants to stay. I think, but he can end up reaching an agreement where he will sacrifice more than the club and lower his financial demands. I want to be very fair on the reporting this morning. There are some out there that believe that Vinicius will say, do you know what? I know I'm asking for a high salary, 80 million euro signing on fee, and 80% of my image rights. However, I'm going to cave on that. So there are other reports that are saying that actually he will, sorry, I'm just checking something there, that he will renew his deal, as it were. But that remains to be seen. But I wanted to be fair and balanced about that. But there are 2 or 3 reports saying they're all confirming there's been no meeting. They are all confirming that Real Madrid will not yield on their offer. Some of them are reporting that Vinicius will cave and take what they're offering. Now, by the way, he's going to get an amazing deal. Caving is still getting one of the biggest and best contracts in world football. We're not talking about somebody that's going to be earning a pittance. So it isn't a bad scenario for him, but I think it's worthwhile acknowledging that. I think it's worthwhile understanding that in relation to this transfer. The problem that you do have here, and I think that is where the report come from Pepe Alvarez, is he an important part of the team? Because that was also put out a few weeks ago. I told you guys I was listening to Talk Sport, and there was a correspondent from Madrid on there. And I don't remember his name. I've got to try and find the clip. Weirdly, TalkSport didn't post the clip, and it was such an insightful, maybe because there was no clickbait in it or no rage bait, they haven't posted it, but it was some really insightful stuff. And he said that one of the reasons he thinks that Vinicius could go is because Jose wants a number 9, but also wants to use Mbappe off the left. So you look at it, and as the report from Pepe Alvarez says, they will not force him out. They're happy to keep Vinicius if he agrees his deal and he plays as part of the first team squad. But if the right offer comes in and the player doesn't want to renew, they will sell him. Now, one of the other updates I wanted to go through with you today came from the hand of Arsenal. And I think this is such a significant update. So if you haven't done it already, please hit the like button. Please share this across your social media platforms as well. Just while I take a bit of a drink. I don't know with this mic how much of that you could hear me drinking. I apologize if it was a loud gulp down your lug holes. This is what's been said here by the hand of Arsenal. And he said that Arsenal have spoken to the camp of Vinicius Jr, obtained all the necessary financial requirements, and then approved it on all levels. Now, that is significant because what that tells you is Vinicius Jr is not only open slightly to the move, they've had a conversation. If you go back, and I know he's not as good a player, but we go back to when Arsenal were chasing Vlahovic 4 years or so ago, they wouldn't even answer the phone. Tells you something. It also shows you that Arsenal are being serious. And now there isn't an Arsenal fan in the world that can complain, that can moan, that can bitch, that can whine, that can be negative. Arsenal have offered all the financial demands that Vinicius Jr wants. There is no more Arsenal can do. It's offering more. They've offered him what he wants. They've made, what are you demanding salary-wise, image rights, bonuses, signing on fees, boom, all agreed, we'll do it. There is no more now Arsenal can do other than the charm offensive. But you are fighting against a player that one wants to stay at Madrid and he's already at Madrid. It's a hard fight to win, but Arsenal are doing the business there. He says Vinicius camp are well aware if the contract talks fail, the English champions are ready to financially put in a serious offer. Vinicius Jr.'s trusted circles have proactively explored potential future destinations for the winger, engaging leading sports analytics firms and data-driven football experts to simulate how he would fit into various top-tier tactical systems. That's crazy. Arsenal continue to work on other targets like Julian Alvarez and others at the same